Hi everyone, my name is Elway. I'm from Foothill College. I hope everyone is doing well. Today I'll be pitching my business, Park and Forget. So electric cars are now California's second largest export, and the $7 billion market is really only going to grow from here. Autonomous cars have recently made their debut on the market in the form of electric vehicles. But why is it that with our recent technology, has saved us the hassle of driving, yet still requires us to complete the tedious task of charging our cars every single day? So a while back, I went to a Tesla showroom. After interviewing over 50 electric car users, one thing became super clear. Charging was annoying and people wanted a solution. Alleviating the annoyance of charging your cars is obviously great, but how many people are actually willing to pay for it? Out of the 50 Tesla users, 98% of them said they would without a doubt purchase our autonomous charger for the price we offer. So some of the major factors that come in play when it comes to consumer psychology is the ease of use of a product. This factor can easily impact how quickly a product propagates into a population. So just imagine any battery-based product that can be continuously charged for years on end without needing any attention from the user. Our product is Park and Forget. In short, it's an autonomous charging system for electric cars. It has three components: an elevating platform, inductive charging coil, as well as a magnetic position sensor. The concept of our product reflects the ultimate goal of being able to park and forget. So Park and Forget is brought to life as a robot that is able to detect the vehicle as it parks into the garage. Once the vehicle parks, the robot will detect the battery plate on the bottom of the car, extend its platform, and proceed to charge the vehicle. When the charger elevates, it will stop moving once it makes direct contact with the battery plate, so that electric waves will be transferred to prevent the spread of radiation. Once it's charged, the robot will then return to its designated location. In the case of an apartment complex, occupants can have their cars charged up according to prepaid priority, following the same park and forget concept. We will also have an app so that users can easily track their charging status on the go. So earlier, you may have caught a glimpse of our patent pending caption. We do have a patent currently pending. This is just the title and application number. So getting into our revenue stream, our revenue will be made off of licensing fees and royalties. Manufacturers can choose to sell by unit or as an add-on to consumers' vehicles. And instead of selling directly through us, we will be selling through existing EV manufacturers. There will also be a nominal charge for the user app, which will serve as a recurring revenue stream. So our growth strategies. We will first target suburban cities where homeowners are more likely to have garages. We'll also work with local governments to provide tax break incentives, which will increase our sales as well as increase the ownership of EVs. We'll also expand to apartment complexes and malls. And lastly, we'll also work with existing charging companies or public charging companies such as ChargePoint and Electrify America. So as I mentioned before, the EV market is growing at an extremely rapid pace, and it's already huge today. And ID TechX forecasts the global EV charging infrastructure market to be worth $40 billion by the year 2030. So our target market will be the 1.12 million cars, which is 1/3 of the high-end EVs sold in a year. Although we state that we target high-end EVs, those with lower means or the younger generation like me will likely be purchasing more affordable electric cars. And most of the time, these cars offer less range than high-end models. Lower range equals the need for more charging, so this product really works for them as well. So I'm going to define our customer segment with three key individuals. First, we have Elon. This is a typical Silicon Valley guy or any well-off user with maybe a disposable income. They love to try new products on the market and have a high readiness to buy rate. Cheryl, on the other hand, enjoys convenience and seeks value. She's a user that will really need more marketing and persuasion, so I put her in the moderate to high range. Lastly, we have Jeff. Jeff is your typical 9-to-5 busy, forgetful kind of guy. His readiness to buy is high as he is the type of person that absolutely needs our product. So doing the simple competitor analysis, there have been several prototypes that have surfaced, but none are actually on the market. Given the confidentiality behind these products, which I'm sure many of them are in development right now as I speak, there really isn't enough data to create a detailed qualitative analysis. Despite that, many mockups have been released. and most of them are extremely bulky in size and do not seem to be affordable for home users. Our key challenge and area of opportunity is that park and forget is not compatible with existing vehicles. So diving into the numbers, it takes around $300 to manufacture a product. And while companies like Tesla price their manual chargers at around $600, we will price our autonomous chargers at around $1,800, which will set, or sorry, $1,800, which will set us at an 83.3% margin. As I mentioned, the majority of our revenue comes in from our 5% royalty fee, as well as our $1 million licensing fee. So doing the simple calculations, we will bring in $2 million in year one off licensing fees from 2 manufacturers and $5.6 million in year two off licensing fees and royalties. We also asked for $1 million in our first round of funding. So a year from our seed fund, we will have 3 key deliverables. The first one will be a fully functional prototype that includes hardware as well as software, a modified EV prototype compatible with Park and Forget, as well as partnerships with EV manufacturers. So our COVID response. It's more important than ever in today's day and age to have products that align with COVID-friendly lifestyles. With the pandemic, contactless solutions to really anything is ideal. And our product is quite literally the contactless autonomous solution for charging. So I have a quick concept video that I'd like to show you guys.
When your dreams come alive, you're unstoppable. Take a shot, chase the sun, find the beautiful. We will go in the dark, turning dust to gold, and we'll dream impossible.
So I hope that video shows a little bit of, or I guess proves or shows a little bit of our product clearly. So I have a team. This is my team. It's just me. I'm a freshman at Foothill College, but I've also had the incredible experience of working with some really, really great advisors. One of them is Wen Shea, a general partner at Kleiner Perkins, who also happens to be an investor at ChargePoint. So he's given me some really good insight on the EV charging infrastructure. So it's clear that electric vehicle adoption has surpassed the growth of charging infrastructure. Park and Forget really has the capability to alter an individual's lifestyle and incentivize more consumers to purchase electric cars. Going green isn't just a market trend, but an effort our planet really needs today. So stand up, Park and Forget, the complete autonomous solution. That's all I have for today. I'd love to answer any questions.
Wonderfully done. That's a great way to start off our first presentation. And now for our judges, if you guys would like to ask any questions, and I will start the timer as soon as Wei starts speaking.
This is
go ahead. Go ahead, Charles.
Yeah, it's Charles Eason. I just had a question on do the cars have to be modified to work with this inductive charging? I know like certain cell phones only work for inductive charging. Is it the same thing with the cars themselves?
Yes. So that's basically our key challenge, is that current models do not work with our charger. And like I said, we're not manufacturing our own cars. We're going to be working with already existing EV companies. So yeah, that would require them to have to modify their models.
Thank you.
Could you talk a little bit more? Oh, I'm sorry. Could you talk a little bit more about the capital requirements of the company beyond the $1 million seed round that you need?
Yeah, so for right now, we don't actually have we don't actually know how much money we're gonna need in the future. Right now, we just know that we need our $1 million for seed round funding. If you see, it's really small, but if you see the graph to the middle, you'll see that these are basically our requirements for the first year and where all the money is going.
I have a question about your team. Is on your team right now, you've listed just yourself
Yeah.
and a bunch of advisors. So what you're doing is really big and it's awesome. And besides advisors, like who developed the technology? Who submitted the patents and stuff like that? Was it all done by you?
Yeah, so actually, I've been working on this project for around 2 years now. The hardware and software, a lot of it was, so I worked with a patenting firm that specialized in technology. So a lot of the hardware and software, it was just me working with them to file the patent. But so far, it's just me on the team.
Great. I think a real big next step for you is to recruit a team to work with you in addition to advisors.
Yeah, I totally agree. Thank you.
Hi, hello. So I guess what are some of the next plans that you'll have after the fundraising? How would you build a product and how would you find the product market fit and then launch in the future?
I'm really sorry. Could you repeat the last part?
Yes. So what are some of the strategies that you have for the product market fit, and what are some of the plans that you have to manufacture the product into the market?
Yeah, that's a good question. So right now we haven't started developing our product yet. We're still just prototyping and trying to make some progress on that. Our plans are to basically work with existing manufacturers. We're not only going to need our product or our charging system, but we will also need a modified EV model. So that will be the main challenge. In the future, our first steps will be to develop our prototype as well as the modified model. And after that, we'll just start targeting companies like Tesla and Nissan, Toyota, Audi, and working with them so that we can bring it to the market through them. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, that answered the question. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, Ace. Steven Torres here. First, let me commend you. I think this is really a phenomenal idea. As someone who's actually looked into this space before, it's like a Roomba for your EV, right? It's going to go out and do everything. I think some of the challenges that have already been brought up, right, is that how do you make it universal for all cars? Because right now they don't even have the same adapters, right? So you got to figure that problem out. I think one of the other question to me that's really interesting is how does this scale beyond, individual stations in the home, right? When I look at the actual EV market, I think this is going to be huge. It's something that's it's not coming back in the garage, right? It's out there. But these charging stations in the home are great, but how do you get them out there in other ways and in other realms? I think that's really interesting. But I think the technical piece of being able to do the inductive charging across all vehicles, that's certainly a technical thing. And I think to Gigi's point, this is where that team is really going to come in. But I commend you because I think this is something that eventually we're going to need some way to charge all these cars as they're out there in our infrastructure. So really fun to see.
Thank you. Well, yeah, exactly. That's definitely going to be a challenge. Like I said, we're mainly targeting home use, so like garage use first, but we'll definitely want to expand to, apartments, malls, as well as like partnering with existing public charging companies. And I think that's a huge market to really dive in, but it'll definitely be a challenge.
I would say the thing also is you have to realize, like most of the home chargers right now, it requires an electrician to come out and rewire in your wall.
Yeah.
I think what's going to be really interesting is if you actually do make it like the Roomba, right? Where essentially it's a regular 120 volt plug-in, because that solves a really big problem of having the contractors come out, put in the charging station, rewire things when necessary. So that's why I think it's kind of novel.
Yeah, thank you so much.
All right, that will be it for our questions. Q&A section. Thank you